Bundy.
All right. So I think at this point everybody knew, or everybody knows what happened to Killa Ace. Killa Ace, the rapper, the activist, the guy that basically created a track that inspired a lot of people to feel comfortable to speak out against the Yahya Jammeh regime. A time of oppression, 22 years of torment, till we came to a point that Gambia has decided and brought in this new government. Killa Ace, in this new government, got picked up and beaten by security forces and the people that are supposed to protect us as citizens, people that were sworn to protect us. And the reason why this is worrying is because of the irony of it. That somebody like Killa Ace, that was so adamant on fighting against injustice, back at a time when a lot of people were not even bringing their voices up, he came off as one of the few who was willing to sacrifice his safety, his comfort, and everything else he had going for him in the Gambia right over here, and did something that he felt he had to do as an artist, as a conscious artist and an activist, to wake the youth up so that we can make a change. That change happened, and 2 nights ago, Killa Ace gets jumped by the same security forces that are now the representative of state of a government that Killa Ace fought for to happen. Now, you can argue at what capacity or whether he was just an artist or whatever, but I find it very worrying when 2 nights ago, Killa Ace was being beaten and somebody like Sidin Jai is at the State House, probably eating dinner. Let that settle for a little bit. We are talking about the idea of a new Gambia, of a change, right? That we spoke about. I mean, at this point, I'll be fooling anyone if I say that there's a real change in Gambia. Because, let's be honest, it hasn't changed. We're still under Jammeh laws. Nothing has been put into law to disregard what the executive orders were. There's no concept or vision or idea of somebody actually working on actual structural change. There's a few commissions going on, but we all know that we're still living in that same regime. Now, nothing actually proves that point, that what happened with Killa Ace. Killa Ace was just walking out of a friend's house in Serekunda and got stopped by a plainclothes officer that he did not know was an officer. When the man insisted, grabbing his bag to search it, Killa Ace simply asked for ID, identification. Now, of course, there was a push and pull. But what happened next was that some security forces that were also part of, apparently they were rounding up some people selling phones illegally or something like that in Serekunda, saw what happened and jumped Ace. Now, we all see the evidence. I mean, we've seen, the injuries on his face, how it's swollen up and everything else. And they did this with impunity. Basically, they felt that they could actually get away with this, which is worrying because I'm starting to think like, what made them that brazen to feel that something like this is okay to continue doing when people in Gambia had voted to actually change course? This is not what we wanted. We said no to police brutality, torture. The amount of murders in the last regime were mostly done by the state. And yet that same state that we felt will make a change are now the same ones showing us that really nothing has changed. Let me go on further. He got bailed. Today there was a court hearing. After he was granted bail by the judge, all right, by a good defense made by his lawyer, the anti-crime unit sent another officer after the judgment to come again and rearrest Killa Ace at the courthouse. Now, what kind of injustice is that? Well, let me tell you, it's the injustice of the Jammeh regime. These are the same things that used to happen in the time of Jammeh, when people were given freedom and were given bail, and just because they did not like the way the ruling went, they will use force and rearrest the suspect or anybody basically that was charged with that particular crime that they basically placed them in. So this is a repetition of what's been going on. Now, I mean, we all know this. I mean, like, me saying it is like preaching to the choir right about now. But it also worries me how there's a certain block of people that's also defending what the police did. Killa Ace did not do anything wrong. He did not have anything on him. It's not like there was a reason to even stop him in the first place. He was minding his business in Serekunda, in a busy street. Why was he targeted? I mean, nobody can tell me that anything has changed, all right? That's a fact. Nobody has told me that the security forces have been reformed. They haven't. They have proven it in the Faraba incident, the first Occupy Westfield, and even recently, I mean, everybody, even the people that's arguing about authority and people that love the idea of fascism, that people just need to stay in line and do what you're told and cooperate. Otherwise, if you get beaten over the head or anything else happens to you, that's just the way it is. Rudeness needs to be punished. Rudeness needs to be punished. Even those people that defend that know for a fact that police brutality has been a problem in this Gambia for the longest time. Now, this is not political. Now, a lot of people are talking about Ace like he's a political figure and things like that. He's not, all right? Ace is an activist. Just because you're an activist and you're standing for basic human rights doesn't mean that you're in the political field. Get that right. Most of you going against Ace thinking that just because he doesn't align with your politics. Look at the bigger picture. What happened to Ace could have happened to you. Could have happened to your brother, sister, cousin, anybody else. This is something that's an actual problem that can happen to anyone, especially the poor. If Killa Ace did not have the notoriety and his name was that well known and he did not have an access to a lawyer, I'm telling you, even if he was rendered bail, all right, he was given bail at Canifing Municipal Court, he would have gotten picked up again and nothing would have come out of this. They proved it today. They showed up with their pickup trucks. They were ready to do it. Now, my point is this. Where we are right about now, today, the irony of it, where we are now, New Gambia is hailed as, you know, we've come out of dictatorship. We're celebrating it. For example, the Prince is here, the Prince of England, of the Duchess of Wales or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, he's here. And today, him being here to show that Gambia has opened up, it's a new beginning, or we're more aligned with democratic values to a point where we'll have a prince visiting, or whatever the hell the significance of that is. As that was happening, Killa Ace, the man that fought for us to have this new Gambia, was getting beaten up by the same people he fought for them not to be there. Nothing has changed. Fact. And what diga ne yalla dafa doy. Now, I'm worried because this seems like it's a new beginning to take us back to tyranny. If somebody could be beaten like Killa Ace, get held and refuse bail initially till we got a lawyer to get bailed out of the ACU, go to court, get a bail, and yet the ACU still feels that they're so angry with him for speaking out or making a spectacle out of him, out of this, that they could come back and pick him up again, just because they could, to show them the power they have. It worries me because it seems like these people are comfortable enough to go right back to what we were trying to get out of, or what we thought we got out of. Gambia, we're in for a long ride. And if you don't see this as a significant incident right about now, you might be willfully burying your head in the sand, or you must have some very ill will towards your fellow citizens. In this new Gambia, it doesn't roll off the tongue right when I say New Gambia. It still sounds weird because there's nothing new really, apart from a change of leadership. But if you are comfortable enough to support what that police did based on your dislike for Killa Ace, my friend, let's look at yourself in the mirror again. Maybe you were not truly authentic on the idea of creating a new dispensation and a new government and a new way forward for this Gambia, where police brutality ceases to exist and rule of law works on justice and righteousness, not on tyranny.